Invisible Money, the rigged game of labor. I was riding past a small cafe the other day, and it made me think. The owner works 18-hour days, and they're constantly posting about needing to hire new staff. For a small business, labor isn't a cost, it is the cost. It's what keeps them up at night. And I wondered why it's so hard for them to pay a decent wage when a massive corporation can afford to pay their employees more or at least have a bigger team. It's obviously a strange thing to think about. We're told that a business is a business and that all labor costs are the same, but they're not. It's a completely different game for a small coffee shop than it is for a multi-billion-dollar tech company. One operates on a cash only reality, the other has access to what I've started calling invisible money. What is this invisible money? It's the stock market. It's a company's market valuation. When a small business needs to pay for labor, it comes directly from the revenue that comes through the door. It's a simple, day to day transaction. But a public corporation can pay for labor in a completely different way. They can offer things like stock options or restricted stock units. They can attract top talent by saying, we can't just give you a huge salary, but here's a slice of our stock, a piece of our perceived future value. And the real situation with this is that stock market itself, this huge invisible pile of money, gives the company a different kind of power, gives them leverage. A high stock valuation means they can get cheaper loans, make massive acquisitions, and take risks that a small business could never dream of. The stock market isn't a direct pipeline of cash into a company's bank account every single day. Instead, it's a lever that translates a company's perceived value into real world power. So while a small business is in a cash for labor reality, a big corporation is in a value for labor game. And we're surprised when a small business can't compete. They're not just playing on a different level, they're playing a different game entirely, with a completely different set of rules. And this isn't about blaming corporations for playing by the rules. It's about asking if the rules themselves are the problem. And what about workers themselves? On one hand, the system can be a pro. For a highly skilled employee at a successful tech company, getting stock options or grants can be life changing. They feel like they have a stake in the company's success. Their hard work can translate not just into a paycheck, but into a real piece of the future. It's a powerful motivator. But on the other hand, it's a big con. For every employee who becomes wealthy from their company's stock, there are dozens at failed startups or struggling public companies whose shares are now worthless. Their slice of the future evaporated. The stock market is a volatile beast, and its invisible money is not guaranteed. And for the workers who do have valuable stock, it often comes with a condition: golden handcuffs. Their shares are on a vesting schedule, meaning they have to stay at the company for years to fully earn them. It can keep someone tethered to a job they've grown to hate, just to avoid walking away from a life changing amount of money. So for the worker, the system is a high stakes lottery. You get a chance at immense wealth, but you also take on all the risk. And for the vast majority of people, the ones working at the small cafe, the local bookstore, or a company without any stock, the lottery doesn't even exist. This duality only reinforces the idea of a rigged game. It's not just a different set of rules for businesses, it's a different set of opportunities and risks for the workers themselves. And the invisible money that props up the entire system is what creates this divide. And this becomes a house of cards. We've built a system where corporations, in their pursuit of profit, push down wages and raise the prices of everything from food to housing to healthcare. But what is the end result of that? If we, the workers, are paid the bare minimum, if we're crushed by the cost of rent, student loans, and a simple doctor's visit, then we have less money. A lot less. We have less money to spend on the goods and services that these very same corporations are selling. It's an economic paradox. A system that's designed to squeeze every dollar from its workers is ultimately left with a consumer base that has no dollars left to spend. It's like a snake eating its own tail. The greed for short term profit creates the conditions for long term economic stagnation. It's an incredibly simple observation, but it gets lost in all the noise of the stock market and financial jargon. If you want a strong economy, you need a strong consumer. If you want a strong consumer, you need to make sure they're not drowning in debt and struggling to pay for the basics. Maybe the freedom we should be talking about isn't the freedom for a corporation to maximize its profit, but the freedom for a person to be able to afford a decent life without living in a constant state of financial anxiety. This isn't about being anti capitalist, it's about asking if the system is fair. Is a healthy economy one where the small guy has to fight for every dollar while the big guy has access to a whole other dimension of financial power? Is a society truly functional when the rules are so fundamentally different for the two types of businesses and workers that make up our economy? And what does that say about the future of work? What does it say about the future of society that values the abstract perception of a company's worth more than the tangible, daily sweat of the people who run it? Maybe a truly balanced economy isn't about making sure everyone is competing on the same playing field. Maybe it's about making sure the two fields aren't so different that the outcome is rigged from the start. Just something to think about out here on the trail.